Welcome to Xtra, presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very censored. I don't know. I don't know. I know where to begin. I know where I want to start. I know where I want to go. I'm just saying I don't know because it is true. I learned something. And I usually give stuff enough time to breathe, but as of late, I just been go ahead singing like a bird. As of late, I just been go ahead sharing because sharing is caring. I just been go ahead and protecting the non-guilty or the guilty, even though it's me. But usually, there's a different rhyme or reason, or there's a different time frame, except when it's me. But this, I truly didn't know that this would occur. I didn't know this would happen. I didn't know I had this to begin with. Noobs, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance. That's all I ever want. That's all I ever ask for is an opportunity and a chance, whether it's a second or insert time frame of how long you think I deserve. Greatly appreciate it. Regs, we back at it again. Regs, we do what we do. Regs, this feels like every single day, but it's not every single day. It just feels that way. Why? Because we have this special, unique, bond that we share. We don't know what to call it. Sharing is caring. Brr. You shouldn't share everything. You shouldn't share everything. And sometime in the future, insert time frame, we will retroactively say, this is what it is. This is what it was, and this is what it always will be. But until that moment, we just gonna keep on sharing this bond that we don't know what to call, but we know how we feel, and we know how strong it is, and how unbreakable it be. Okay, there's not a lot of things that get by me. There's some things that get by me. There's some things I do know. There's some things I don't know. There is a gap in the knowledge base that I have. I can't know everything. I'm okay with not knowing everything. And there's some things that I probably should know that I don't know, but I know enough of the things that I should know that I'm able to cover up or raise my hand and wait to be called on to get the other information that I don't know, or use some kind of device, or use some kind of person, or figure it out, or learn the hard way. There are many options. I usually will want not necessarily the easiest option, but the option to make it less chaotic, less, you know, chaotic. Yeah, chaotic for the final answer. And that's the he, and not the ha. But sometimes you just gotta go. Sometimes you have to go with the flow. Sometimes you just have to live and let live. Sometimes you just have to be prepared for what you can prepare for, and everything else is a mystery. Everything else is an adventure. Everything else is that chaos that I spoke of. I can perform under chaos. It's it's a skill set. It's a unique skill set. Some of it's innate and some of it's not. This isn't the time or the place to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not gonna even give you the Vince's note. I'm just gonna say it exists. It's there. If you would like to know more, I'd suggest you go back and you start putting together some of the historical documents, because they are there. They are there, and it paints this broad picture. It paints this vivid picture. And when you see the picture, you'll know. And that's the you will know. Like with a exclamation point. Like three of them, back to back to back. This what occurred. Well, the thing that occurred, it threw me for a loop. It threw me for a loop. I wasn't rattled. I wasn't shook. I wasn't anything to that nature. It wasn't that serious, but it was a little bit serious. I don't know what set it off. I don't know what had happened. And by um I realized by deduction that it had to be me. It couldn't be anybody else. It had to be me. And I'm speaking of a car alarm. I didn't know I had a car alarm. And if somebody's car alarm was just going off, you know them people, car alarm go off all the time, making this racket, making this noise, and you saying to yourself, why don't they just turn their GD alarm off? And see, family show, family program. Some of you got it, others didn't. But since I pointed out, maybe you did. You're welcome. You're welcome. I know, because I be that person saying to myself, saying under my breath, even saying out loud sometime, why don't that person just turn that alarm DF off? Yeah, DF off. It happens. But this one time that I speak of, it was just going off. I was getting ready to get in one of my moods. I was getting ready to say something under my breath. I was getting ready to do what I normally do when someone's alarm go off and they're not stopping it or they're not making it stop. And then I realized that there are only two vehicles. There are only one, two vehicles that's out in the front. And since there's only two vehicles out the front, and one of them's being mine, and the other one's being someone else who should go nameless, and that person, let's just say, wasn't awake, was asleep, I imagine. I don't know. I'm just guesstimating. I'm just deducing once again. It was either my vehicle or their vehicle, no one else's. And that's when I pumped the brakes, and that's when I got questions. I got questions. And I'm going to need some answers. I got questions. I'm going to need some answers. So I'm just going to go ahead and start doing what I need to do to get all the information that I need so I can provide it to myself and so I can provide it the proper input intake, the proper information that it needs so we can move forward. That happened in about less than a second, and then that's when I realized that, wait a minute, that might be me. And I was thrown aback by that because when I initially purchased the car many moons ago, I was never told about an alarm. I just knew I had a system in it. If it ever gets stolen, we'll be able to track it and find it. But I didn't know it was an alarm. I didn't know it was something that makes noise. I didn't know it was like a stand back, protected by Viper. Whoa, wait a minute. No, it wasn't that. I'm just having flashbacks. The protective Viper was absolute worst. And if you know not what I speak of, I suggest you use your favorite search engine and put it in there. And you're welcome. Be entertained for the next decade. You're welcome. You didn't have to live through that. You didn't have to endure that. The rest of us did, so you didn't have to suffer. You're welcome. You're welcome. I was never told that the vehicle had an alarm. There was never a point since owning it for many moons where an alarm went off, and I done just about everything in it. I done been in it. I done been out it. I done prevent myself from destroying an engine. I prevent myself from just about anything that can possibly go wrong. However, I did mess up a engine or two, but it wasn't to the degree of where it uh needed replacement because it was oil, or needed replacement because I put water in the oil mechanism, or I can keep going, but I'm not. I suggest you go back and review the historical documents on how I am a destroyer of engine. That is one of my nicknames. That is one of my nicknames. So being very, very familiar and having it recalled multiple times and having the recall worked on and taking it to the dealership, taking it to repair place, taking it to get oiling it myself, doing all sorts of things since the lifetime or since I've had it in my lifetime. I have never set off an alarm, never knew an alarm existed. So you should have known how baffled, how my mind was just destroyed, how I was just questioning everything, life's big questions like, do I really need to drink water with ice? Do I really need to drink water with ice? Can I seriously put milk in my cereal? I mean, all of the questions that usually and normally wouldn't keep me up at night would now be pondering, rolling around in my mind, keeping me up at night. And why, you may ask? Because I never knew I had an alarm. No one ever told me the booklet then or the manual, if you want to be specific or you want to be proper about it. The manual never told me that there was an alarm unless I fell asleep on that page, unless I was reading the other book behind my eyelids on that page. I can neither confirm nor deny. I can't say as a matter of fact. I'm just saying the ones that I recall and remember, it didn't mention anything. The dealer didn't mention anything. The peeps uh that worked on it didn't mention anything. I never came across anything where I didn't know how to recognize it. So you should have known. You should have saw my face. I wish I had one of those magic pictures that could just take pictures and record me at times of questionable moments. You know, like having my own personal videography, videographer. Yeah, that. I think I got it right one of the three or four times. Having my own person like that and just recording everything, and we just pick out the moments that matter the most. Kind of like real life. Kind of like real life. But that wasn't the case. I'm just gonna say, use your imagination. I look like I seen a ghost. Not just any ghost either. The ghost that I want to hang out with, the ghost that I want to shoot the breeze with, the ghost that I want to see most of the time. But they didn't want to hang out and they didn't want to see me and they didn't want to be with me. So I was devastated, destroyed almost. Definitely devastated. One of them D's, but not two. Can't have the two D's. If you know, you know. I I was yeah, I was one of the D's. Then I went ahead and had to do what I needed to do and what I probably should have done. Like as soon as the light bulb came on, as soon as the moment of clarity came on. But I did it. I did it a minute or so later. I pressed the button. I ended it all. I was like, "That's got to be my vehicle," because the other vehicle, I've heard that alarm before. It's not that alarm, and there's only two vehicles out there, and so I'm guessing that my vehicle has an alarm. And so I was just, I was, I was in my feelings. I was in my feelings, not because of the misinformation, not because of not knowing, not because so many years went by and I never knew that there was an alarm existed. I mean, it happens. How do you think I felt when I figured out that the tooth fairy was real? How do you think I felt when I found out the Easter bunny didn't really have chocolate eggs? Yeah. I was like, that's cool. I can get chocolate eggs all times a year now. Thank you. I wish I would have known this more sooner. Kind of like more better, but sooner. Then I was able to swiftly turn my attention to the most important thing in this scenario, the most important thing in this situation. Not necessarily me not knowing because I know not a lot of things. There's gaps within my knowledge base. There are things that I wish I know, I don't know. There are things that I pretend I don't know, but I do know. And there are things that I Well, there aren't things that I pretend to know and don't know. I usually don't go that route. I try to maintain being a truth teller, and if I don't know, if I borderline don't know something, I just go ahead and make that declaration to begin with. Hey, I'm just gonna throw this out here. I'm just gonna say that I really don't know this. I might know something, but I don't know everything. Because that feels better. That feels better, and it makes me feel more secure. But that wasn't it. It was the fact that what happened, as I mentioned in the beginning, what had happened to set this alarm off? Because there was no animals, there was no people, there was no person. It wasn't raining, it wasn't sleeting, it wasn't snowing, there was no inclement weather, it wasn't even blowing wind. Why did my alarm just decided to alarm me about something? And then when I looked or when I realized that the alarm was alarming me about something, there was nothing. There was nothing. That's going to keep me up at night. That's going to have me wondering. That's going to have me pondering. That's going to have me trying to figure out, why did the alarm go off? Why did the alarm that I didn't know exist went off? What happened? What happened? That's one of life's mysteries that I'm just gonna have to figure out one day. Hopefully, one day sooner. If not, at the end game, that is gonna be my top 5 question. Why did that alarm go off at that time, that date, when nothing else was around and nothing else surrounded? Unless I'm able to figure the answer out myself on my many, many future nights up late, not sleeping because of this. Hey, one can hope, one can wish, and one could not dream. That's what dreams are made of, huh? I guess. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the new and improved website at extravdgsports.com. That is xtravdgsports.com. There's a YouTube as well, xtravdg. Like, subscribe, share, basically do whatever it is you do there. Comment if you must, comment if you may. We clap back. Bird like voice. Noob and noobs, thank you once again for the opportunity and the chance. Regs, you know what time it is. And you know what's not gonna happen, what may happen, and what may not happen. But I'll just leave you with this. We out.